And good Tuesday to you. I'm meteorologist Joey Sofine with an update of the tropics as we are certainly getting a lot busier out there. We have Gabrielle and two other systems that are maybe on its heels as the next named storm. So we're going to go out in the tropics and kind of break everything down for you, let you know what to expect and whether we are concerned about each individual one. So we'll start out with a look at the satellite, just kind of a overview of what's going on out there right now. And the one that certainly grabs the attention of on the satellite this morning is this to the east of Bermuda. That is Gabrielle, a Category 4 hurricane this morning, but that has moved away from Bermuda. Didn't have any significant impacts on the island, so that is good. It dodged that island and stayed obviously well off the east coast. We do have some swell coming into our beaches right now. Waves elevated a little bit, and there is a moderate risk of rip currents because of some of that swell today and tomorrow as well. Now, elsewhere in the tropics, the two other red areas to the south, those are our two tropical waves. So we have one that is out over the open Atlantic, and the other one this morning, it's diving in with some showers and storms. Looks like it's pushing southward in the latest satellite imagery. But this is a disorganized disturbance at this point in time, but moving through the Windward and Leeward Islands. And usually if we see a storm that makes its way into those Caribbean islands, it is something that we have to watch a little bit closer. And that will be the case for this as we go into the upcoming days. So Hurricane Gabrielle, once again, that is a very strong hurricane out there, but thankfully out over the open Atlantic and not expected to impact any other land areas. But here are our two disturbances. They're both marked by an X there on the map. The red X indicates where we have a high chance of development. The orange where we have a medium. Both of these numbers that I'm going to show you in just a second are increasing now up to 90% with the high risk first tropical wave, and then the second one there on the map, the one that's closer actually, that now has 60%. So this will likely go into the high category here pretty shortly. Although computer models having a kind of tough time handling these two disturbances because they're so close to each other, because we also have Gabrielle that's kind of in the way, creating some wake in its path. So what we're looking at is going to be a couple tropical disturbances fighting over the energy. Which one wins out? Computer models, some say it's the one on the left, some say it's the one on the right, some merge these two together. So how they interact will determine kind of the long game of this, whether this is something that's going to be an issue perhaps for the U.S. down the road. Computer models just starting to come in. These I'm just showing you because they're very preliminary. We get our first model in, but most of the models actually haven't started coming, but they're now designating these as what we call INVEST. One's 93 and one's 94. And what we'll be able to show you now going forward are the computer models are now going to start running on these storm systems, forecasting where they expect this to go. So you can kind of ignore that line, generally speaking, right now, although it does give you an indication that this one's going to generally go in that direction. The other one, our concern is, and we'll kind of go back here and show you the shaded areas, the orange and the red shaded areas, that's where that development, or it could become a tropical system, that's where that would occur. So that puts a placement of this one here shaded in orange somewhere off the southeastern coastline, perhaps by this weekend. So that obviously gets our attention. We need to watch it very closely, but I'll show you a couple of different computer models and what they are thinking with this. Ignore that L there on the map. That's not something that we have to be worried about with tropical development, but we are looking at least the possibility here on the satellite imagery of one or two different disturbances developing. In fact, I'll kind of zoom things back out just a little bit. This is a computer model called the GFS, the American model, and it shows the second one, the one that's farther out right now, as perhaps being the dominant storm system, while the other one is much weaker and kind of lost in here off the coast. So that is kind of one possible outcome. Now we're going to run and take a look at the European computer model, and I know it's kind of messy with a lot of green out there, but it'll stop in just a second on Sunday. And this shows that that second one is a tropical system, and perhaps The first one is coming up towards the North Carolina coast. So it's very convoluted at this point in time, exactly how these storm systems will evolve, which one will be the stronger of the two, whether if there's the farther west one developing. Do we need to be worried about it for us here in the low country? So at this point in time, I wouldn't be worried about it, but I certainly would be staying updated over the next couple of days as things could change pretty rapidly. Some models want to deepen these storms a little bit stronger than what we are seeing here on future trackers. So there is a lot of uncertainty as far as how these storm systems will develop, how strong they will get. We just know it's in a placement that if this disturbance gets into the Bahamas and starts to organize or towards the Turks and Caicos, there's not a long time between when it would develop and when it could potentially impact somewhere along the southeast or mid-Atlantic coastline if it were to move far enough west to do so. So the window for kind of watching those storms, it's not like they're coming off the coast of Africa where you have a week or a week and a half to watch them. This would be more of a couple of days, 2-3 days at best, between the time it develops and then the time that perhaps it has some impact. So we'll be keeping you updated. Once again, that's for late this week, but we'll be watching it very closely. Don't forget to download the Live 5 First Alert weather app. We'll keep you updated frequently there. We'll keep you frequently updated here at the Live 5 Alert Desk, and make sure you check out our newscast as well, as we'll have the latest as far as how these are developing. But what we know is there's two areas. Gabrielle is not one of the ones we're concerned with. Gabrielle is a Category 4 hurricane, but not concerned about that because that is already out to sea. But these two tropical waves behind it are going to have to be watched pretty closely as we go through the upcoming days. I'm meteorologist Joey Silverman right here at the Live 5 Alert Desk. Hope you have a great day.